We don't have to argue with anybody. We don't have to curse and go around acting bad with our words. We don't need any bricks and bottles. We don't need any Molotov cocktails. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country and say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. And we come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you are not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. So as a result of this, we're asking you tonight to go out and tell your neighbors not to buy Coca-Cola in Memphis. Go by and tell them not to buy Seal Test milk. Tell them not to buy, what is the other bread? Wonder Bread.
Tell them that.
And what is the other bread, come to Jesse? Tell them not to buy Hart's bread.
Tell them to cancel their subscription to Netflix.
As Jesse Jackson has said, up to now, only the garbage men have been feeling pain. Now we must kind of redistribute the pain.
That's right. They can pay for what they did to the system.
We are choosing these companies because they have been fair in their hiring policies, and we are choosing them because they can begin the process of saying they are going to support the needs and the rights of these men who are on strike. And then they can move on downtown and tell Mayor Loeb to do what is right. Now, not only that, we've got to strengthen black institutions. I call upon you to take your money out of the banks downtown and deposit your money in Tri-State Bank. We want a bank-in movement in Memphis. Go by the Savings and Loan Association. I'm not asking you something that we don't do ourselves in SCLC. Judge Hooks and others will tell you that we have an account here in the Savings and Loan Association from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. We are telling you to follow what we are doing. Put your money there. You have 6 or 7 black insurance companies here in the city of Memphis. Take out your insurance there. We want to have an insurance in. Now, these are some practical things that we can do. We begin the process of building a greater economic base, and at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts.
That's
I
right.
ask you to follow through here until the end. Nothing would be more tragic than to stop at this point in Memphis. We've got to see it through.
Now to one of the most memorable Americans ever to confront the issue of racial segregation head-on in this country 40 years ago. Rosa Parks, who in refusing to give up her seat on a city bus to a white man became the Mother Superior of the Civil Rights Movement. Her story and what she is telling them in her own words tonight.
I remember well these struggles that we went to during my childhood when the Ku Klux Klan was very active. It just made us stronger to continue the struggle for freedom. This was the seat that I took as I got on the bus. A few white people boarded the bus, and one man was left standing, and I certainly did not plan to stand up, and I didn't consider myself breaking the law because I was in what was supposed to be our part of the bus. So my arrest brought about a protest from the people of Montgomery that lasted 381 days. And when we did go back on the bus, we didn't, the Supreme Court had handed down a decision that there would be no more racial segregation in transportation. When I was on the bus the time I was arrested, the only thing that was on my mind was that I did not want to be treated in that way.
It took her sitting down to get a people to stand up and forget her for that.
Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We began the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. And we come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
You keep moving. I love New York. I love y'all, my babies.
Well, we appreciate
and
you.
I thank you for giving us the platform.
Thank you for joining us.
Eddie, Leonard, I appreciate you, brother.
Sydney, thank you.
Monique, wrapping it up, what are you going to do moving forward as far as with this special?
We're going to keep on pushing. See, the special's going to happen, baby.
Right. So
that's going to happen.
Okay.
And we're going to let y'all see it. But what we're going to do with this situation right now called the fight for inequality, we're going to keep standing. And we're going to hope that sisters like you would stand with us to say, when it's inequality, we must speak up and we must speak loudly because your daughters are coming and your grandbabies are coming.
I'd like to end on this. What y'all may want to do is have a legend come on there that we all saw on the Dave Chappelle show by the name of Paul Mooney. And it's kind of the equivalent of when they were saying they had asked Isaiah Thomas who was the best point guard in the league. And he said it was Kyrie Irving. I have a tendency to believe what a Hall of Famer point guard would say about another point guard. Ask Paul Mooney what his feelings would be in reference to this whole Netflix thing as it pertains to Monique, because Richard Pryor himself used to refer to Monique as Mrs. Richard Pryor.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Miss Monique,
Sydney.
for
We
coming.
appreciate you, Miss Monique.
Thank y'all.
All right, brother. And it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Eddie, thank you so much, my sweet baby, for having us.
Why you keep thinking them? Not me.
You know what, brother? You're going to hear yourself a lot from me lately. You're going to hear yourself around the world because we have to explain brothers like you. We do. And when we watched that movie, Birth of a Nation, and we saw that man walk his wife into that master's house, we watched him walk his wife in. Then we watched him go back and get him. You're that brother.
Current events.
Okay, about who?
Current events.
Like what?
The Oscars. Did you tune in?
Did I see the Oscars?
Yeah.
The Prejudice, I'm sorry, the Academy Awards? Of course I saw it. But it was predictable. I already knew it was going to be. I knew that that stupid movie with Sandra Bullock was going to, that movie. I have grandkids and I have kids. I don't want them to be brainwashed by white folks. That white people have to save you. That angels are white, because angels aren't white. I was offended by that movie. I didn't like that movie. I walked out on it. I just wanted him to just sit on her and kill her. That would have been a great ending for me.
And Precious?
But Precious was a horror movie. Come on. That was The Color Purple 2. And the only reason why Oprah or those people could relate to that, because they were molested as children. No Christian could sit and write that movie and sit through that movie. It's scary. Scary, scary movie.
Now, when people talk about the Oscars and black folks finally getting opportunities to win some, there's always sort of a backlash. It seems like people they want to see us at the Oscars but not winning for those kind of awards.
Well, the Oscars, it was named, Betty Davis saw it and she said, it looks like my Uncle Oscar. That's why it was named. The statue itself it's worshiping statues. It's Hollywood's, if God doesn't destroy Hollywood, he owes Solomon and Gomorrah an apology.
So, I mean, and you...
No, the Oscars are very racist. It's been racist right from the beginning. When Hattie McDaniels won for playing Mammy, they wrote her speech. The speech said, I'm a credit to my race. That in itself is stupid.
This is one of the happiest moments of my life. And I want to thank each one of you who had a part in selecting me for one of the awards. For your kindness, it has made me feel very, very humble. And I shall always hold it as a beacon for anything that I may be able to do in the future. I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel. And may I say thank you, and God bless you.
And we're too much into their white folks' awards and what they set a standard or what they worship. We worship what they worship.
Definitely.
No, I mean, if they say something is good, then that's the best. Somebody white said it was good. It has to be good. If somebody white says it's the best, it's the best.